I'd like to invite the filmmakers back to the stage. Stephen Dunn, Helen O'Hanlon, Percival Argüero. Helen, I think I want to start with you because your film, to me, is the most entertaining of the bunch, and I know it's based on a book from 2003, and I'm just wondering how you came across that book and how you decided that you just had to make it into a film.
I bought it when I was here in New York. I live in London, and I was in Virgin on Union Square one Sunday, and I saw it when I was checking out, one of those sort of gift books that you buy with sort of slightly comedic, and I loved it, and I bought it for people as gifts over the years, and I wasn't making films at the time. I was doing something completely different. But I always thought a nice little film could be made of it. I always thought it'd be nice on screen, something to explore. And about 10 years later, I directed my first shoot, little experiment, and I wanted to make a film. This is my first film. And I sat down with it and wrote a script. I tracked down the author through LinkedIn, sent him the script. He supported it, got the rights to use elements of it, but the story had to be built. It was just a little step-by-step guide, so we had to build something for it. And there we are. That's where it came to.
And the lead actor is brilliant, Terrence Harvey. How did you
I wrote it with him in mind. He's a veteran UK film and TV actor, and I had seen him like 20 years earlier, and I always liked him, and he would pop up in all sorts of things, often not as the lead, but in sort of supporting or more minor roles. And I just thought he looked perfect, and he had a great voice. So I didn't know him or anything. I wrote it with him in mind, and then our casting director just was like, "I'll send it to him." And he read it. He thought it was cheeky and thought it was fun. And we spoke, and we got on like a house on fire, and he came on board, and it was wonderful to give him the frame to light up. I think he did an amazing job.
He absolutely did, yeah. Okay. And Percival, I want to ask you about Sânge, which is, I believe, a student film, which
it is.
To me is probably the most accomplished student film I've seen, and it was very subtle. And I mean, how many films had you made before that, and were they all in the horror genre as well?
Actually. I've made 3 films before this one. They all stayed at school. We are not allowed to show it outside school until this stage of our career. So it's the first film I've ever shown at a festival. It's my 3rd year film.
And have you been terrifying people with it?
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's the one I had to tell my non-horror friends that they couldn't watch because they would be too scared. So I think it's brilliant. So
thank you
and
so
I
much.
would love to watch it someday in an empty theater. That's my goal. But clearly that couldn't have happened tonight. So okay, and Stephen, your film you made 2 years ago, and I've told you I've wanted to show it since then, but it just didn't work out, and I'm so happy that I finally got to. And since then, you've made a feature. You had a great year at Toronto. Do you want to just talk a little bit about your success there this year?
So this film I made 2 years ago at the Canadian Film Centre. I had my first feature, Closet Monster, premiered at TIFF and won a major award there last week. This was my first film that I made as a part of a big corporation, like a big school kind of thing, where we had like a budget and stuff for the first time, because everything else had been like a student film. But I was really excited when you emailed me and to bring this film out here. It's amazing. It's such a great festival, by the way. Thank you.
And where did the idea come from? It's definitely one that stays with you.
I hate answering this question because I hate it because like people judge me, but I was babysitting. when I got the idea. Yeah, literally, I was babysitting. I had this kid, Aiden, and it was amazing. Like, I don't know, I've never babysat before. And this was my first time developing a film with a bigger organization where there's a lot of people, like, coming in with notes, and I found it really... Is there anyone here from the CFC? No? I found it kind of difficult. And the film was kind of like a reaction to me, like, struggling, coming up with a concept. And then in that moment, I started babysitting and being like, oh, this is fun. Like, babysitting's really fun. Maybe I should do that. And then I couldn't.
Okay.
The kid's alive. Like, I know you're probably wondering. She's alive.
Okay, on that note, I would like to turn this over to the audience if anyone out there has any questions for anyone up here.
I was about 4 when I first caught my glimpse of Boris Karloff as Frankenstein. And I was besotted with him. As a child, I used to ask my dad to tell me stories about Frank, as he was to me. So that led to, as a kid, watching James Whale, and he's become a hero of mine. So this is very much influenced by James Whale and Boris Karloff and those 1930s monster films.
My most important inspiration for this short film was Amenábar's Thesis. That's a Spanish film. It's also about snuff films. And yeah, I'd also mention James Wan's first Saw. Yeah.
This is a very different film for me. I haven't really made genre films before, but for this film, I was really inspired by a short film by a French filmmaker named Alice Winocour. She made a film called Kitchen. I don't know if anyone has seen it. She's an amazing filmmaker. She's made like a bunch of features now. But it's also a film about women rejecting traditional roles and contemplating the idea of I guess like the role of the homemaker. Yeah, that's I guess kind of the inspiration for this film.
Any more questions out there?
We used an Arri Amira for the Steadicam and Arri Alexa for the shadow puppetry.
Sânge was shot on film, 35 millimeters, in Panavision.
And we were the Alexa. At the end. Do you mean... it's an original song, and the name... I don't even know if we... I can't remember if we named it. Did we name it? It's all the music in the film is original, kind of a collaboration between my composer and my best friend. She wrote the songs, and yeah.
So that was
sorry.
The lead actress was your friend that...
She's the lead actress is like a pretty well-known Toronto theater actress.
Okay.
But the writer of the song is like one of my best friends, and she's a really... Sorry? Yeah, it's online. Ready to Fight. It's right, yeah, so you can find it. It's online. God, whew.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's okay. Any other questions out there?
I'm not sure mine is a horror film. I'm not sure. It's. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't feel there was any restrictions. In fact, it's an opportunity to go and create something that heightened reality, something that looks great. But I wanted to make a film that was entertaining, a little journey, like a ghost train ride at the fun fair that you get on and, you know, it delights you, it maybe unnerves you a little bit, but it's a fun journey. So I didn't feel any restriction at all. It was a pleasure to create.
Yeah, I've always thought that filmmaking, well, cinema, is a great medium for horror. And when I was searching for an idea for my next student film, I came across a story online. I read online by a well, yeah, I read it on Reddit. Yeah, and it was just amazing. It really blew my mind. So I asked my girlfriend by then, which was the person who showed it to me, to get in touch with the Redditor who wrote it, and he was such a nice guy to allow us to turn this into a film. So yeah, I've told this because literature and cinema are two mediums that really can convey these feelings that are so riveting to me while watching horror films. And in that sense, I never felt I was constrained. I was just thinking that I really want to make people feel the way other horror filmmakers have made me feel before. Yeah. So, yeah.
And also, like Helen, I never thought of the film as like a genre film. It's weird. It was a dark period of my life, and it just kind of happened, like kind of organically. I never really thought about it in the sense of like I was trying to shock or scare or get a reaction. It just, I kind of just, unlike other films that I'd made, I really kind of let it just do its own thing. Yeah, I guess it was a bit gross, but I don't know.
I think it's interesting that the genres and names, it's more the limits people put on what they're watching. When you're making it, you're making what you're making. But if you say to someone it's a horror film, suddenly there's expectations that person has to watch it, rather than maybe on our side of it, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Easier to sell, probably. Like you can. Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more. Right there.
Okay, actually, that is one of the questions I made myself while I was developing the project. I was really inspired by the people I know who really love horror films and horror in general. Some of them even enjoy watching snuff movies. Well, not snuff films, but movies of murder and movies of accidents and all that sort of things that I don't really enjoy. But they're really nice people on the other hand. So, yeah, so they...
So was Casey.
Sorry?
So was Casey.
So was who?
Casey, a multiple murderer.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I know him or her. But yeah, so that got me thinking about which are the boundaries between what you enjoy watching on a screen and what you would enjoy for yourself or for someone you loved. So really, in terms of the target audience of the film, I guess horror fans may be the main audience, but I really wanted to make a film that got people thinking, got people asking themselves these sort of questions. It was not really my intention to make a gore film or an ultra-violence film per se. So yeah. And in regards to the last question, I don't know if I should say this because oh yeah, the author of the short story is here with us, so I'd like to really thank him. He is here with us, And I'd like to ask for a round of applause. Really, I really want to thank you for making this possible. He's a New Yorker.
Okay, before we wrap up, I just had forgotten to thank the Mexican Cultural Institute of New York for getting you here. We thank that. And thank you so much for being here. And thank
Thank
all
you
of
for
you
having
Yeah,
me.
thanks
so
for
much.
having us. Yeah.
Thank you.